Welcome back. Today we're diving deep into Dr. Joseph Murphy's powerful work, How to Attract Money.
Yeah, it's a fantastic book.
It really is. And our mission here isn't just about, quick financial tips. It's about a much deeper shift.
Exactly. It's about mindset,
Yeah.
harnessing the power of your subconscious mind.
Right. Uncovering how to truly attract money, abundance, by understanding that inner power we all have. It's quite a profound internal shift he talks about.
And Murphy he was a really significant figure in this field, famous for his work on subconscious reprogramming.
Reprogramming,
Yeah.
meaning changing those deep-seated beliefs.
Precisely. The patterns you hold, often below conscious awareness. There's even talk he trained with Abdullah, who was Neville Goddard's mentor, too.
That was an interesting connection.
Yeah, and his approach is just so hopeful, very empowering. He makes these complex ideas about the mind feel, accessible. For anyone, really.
He definitely doesn't hold back. Right from the start, he hits you with this bold statement. It's your fundamental right to be rich, to live abundantly, happily, radiantly freely, and poverty. He calls it a mental disease.
Which is a very strong way to put it.
It really is. A disease that should be abolished. That's quite the opening statement, isn't it?
It absolutely is. And what's fascinating is how much that pushes back against, deeply ingrained societal beliefs many of us just absorb.
Like what kind of beliefs?
Well, the book explains money is just a sample. Think about it. It's just a medium of exchange.
Like salt or beads. He mentions oxen even.
Exactly. It's inert, neutral. It only gets its meaning from us, from how we think about it and use it.
That neutrality feels really important because he points out a core problem. So many people condemn money, silently or sometimes quite openly.
Right, calling it filthy lucre, or that old saying, the love of money is the root of all evil.
Yeah, that one's common. So if money itself is neutral, where does the evil part come from?
Well, according to Murphy, the evil isn't in the money itself. Not at all. It comes purely from our misuse of it. He uses analogies like electricity. It can light your home, provide comfort, or it can harm.
Or water. Quenches thirst or it can drown you.
Precisely. The substance itself isn't good or bad. It's the human consciousness, the intent behind its use that makes the difference.
Okay, this next bit really made me pause. Murphy says if you condemn money, speak ill of it. You actually cause it to fly away from you.
Yes. Like your negative energy literally repels it.
How does that work?
He introduces this idea of the inner thief. Things like resentment, jealousy, envy of other people's wealth.
No.
Those aren't just feelings. They are thieves, and they steal directly from you, not the person you're envying.
Wow.
He puts it so simply. What you bless, you multiply. What you condemn, you lose.
So if I'm jealous of someone's success, I'm actually hurting my own chances.
That's the idea. You're essentially programming your subconscious to believe wealth is bad, undesirable, something to push away, and it impacts more than just finances, peace of mind, joy.
He tells a story about that, doesn't he? The woman hoarding coffee during the war?
Oh, yes, that's a powerful one. Consumed by fear of lack, she hides all this coffee.
And that very night, burglars break in and steal it all. Plus silverware, money, jewelry.
It's a stark illustration. Her pervasive state of fear, that lack consciousness, actually seemed to attract the very loss she dreaded.
So the inner thief, her fear came before the outer thieves.
Exactly. Her inner state created the outer condition. It's a really significant point for you to think about in your own life.
So if our inner state is the blueprint, how do we actually build a better blueprint? Murphy talks about wealth being a state of consciousness.
A mind conditioned to divine supply.
Okay, divine supply. What does that really mean for someone who maybe doesn't connect with that specific phrase?
That's fair. You can think of divine supply as, an infinite source, whether you call it God, universal intelligence, the quantum field, or just the limitless potential within you. It's that sense of an unfailing source.
Right.
He uses a great analogy, the tide. It goes out, sure, but it always comes back in.
I like that.
And having that deep understanding, that consciousness of eternal supply, frees you from worry about external stuff, the economy, stocks, inflation, because the source isn't out there, it's in here.
Okay. Now, he also talks about affirmations, specifically the I am kind, like just saying I am wealthy.
Yes.
And he says sometimes that can actually backfire. That caught my eye. Why wouldn't saying I am wealthy work if that's what you want?
It's because your subconscious mind responds primarily to your dominant feeling, your core belief, not just the words you happen to say.
So if I say I'm wealthy, but I feel completely broke,
Then there's a conflict. The deeper, stronger feeling of lack often wins out, and the subconscious sort of rejects the affirmation. It's like, nope, that doesn't match my current reality.
Creates internal friction. So how do we get past that resistance?
Well, for beginners especially, he suggests affirmations that don't create that direct clash. Instead of, I am wealthy, which might feel untrue, try things like, I am prospering every day, or I am growing in wealth and wisdom daily. My wealth is multiplying. I am advancing, growing, moving forward financially.
So those feel more like progress, less like a direct contradiction.
Exactly. They build a bridge. They allow the conscious and subconscious minds to kind of agree and move together toward the goal.
And for more advanced people.
He suggests identifying with abstract truths, like contemplating health, wealth, success as divine qualities. Maybe repeating those words calmly, feeling their essence, knowing that the infinite source is the supply of all these things.
So it's less about saying I have wealth and more about tuning into the principle of wealth itself.
Precisely. But the absolute key running through all of this is the feeling.
The feeling.
Yes. The subconscious accepts the dominant mood, the conviction. Murphy hammered this home. Feeling is the law. Your thought, charged with feeling, creates your reality. You have to feel the wish fulfilled.
That emotional saturation seems crucial then.
It's everything.
Okay, so if that inner state, that feeling, is the real engine, how do we actively impress our subconscious? Murphy offers some really practical techniques. Let's get into those.
Absolutely. The first one is great. Quiet reflection and affirmation.
Okay.
The idea is just before sleep, you get into that sleepy, drowsy, meditative state. Really relaxed, passive.
Almost asleep, but not quite.
Right. And in that state, you gently reflect on fundamental truths, like where do ideas come from?
Yeah.
Where does wealth truly originate? Where did I come from? You trace it all back to the one source, as he calls it.
Grounding yourself in that infinite potential.
Exactly. And then in that receptive state, you slowly, quietly repeat an affirmation for maybe 5 minutes. Something like, money is forever circulating freely in my life, and there is always a divine surplus.
And the goal isn't just rote repetition.
No, not at all. It's to feel the truth of it, to let that idea of abundance sink deep, deep down into your subconscious mind.
Okay, that makes sense. What's next?
Technique 2, scientific imagination. This is powerful. It's based on the principle that, having seen the end, you have willed the means to the end.
Seeing the end. So visualizing the outcome.
Vividly. He tells this incredible story about a young boy in Australia, wanted to be a physician desperately, but no money, not even a high school diploma.
Seems impossible.
Right. But every single night before sleep, he would imagine a medical diploma hanging on a wall, his name on it, in big, bold letters. He felt the reality of it.
He lived in that imagined reality.
He did. And the result. One of the doctors he assisted took a real interest, saw his potential, and ended up sponsoring his entire medical education.
Wow. All from that nightly visualization.
Started with the mental picture, held with faith. Murphy even shares his own example, imagining his book Magic of Faith being read in French. And months later, out of the blue, he gets a contract from a major publisher in Paris. It's about impressing that specific end result onto the subconscious.
Incredible. Okay, then there's the one called changing water into wine. That sounds profound.
It is. He interprets that biblical miracle metaphorically. The water is your mind, your consciousness, your current circumstances.
Like raw material.
Yes. And the wine is the manifestation, the realization of your desire, your ideal. It's about consciously transforming your mental state to produce a new reality.
He gives an example of a man who lost everything in the 1929 crash, right?
That's right. This man constantly affirmed, I can change water into wine, and I attracted the symbol money once, I am attracting it again. Just repeating those ideas, building that mental attitude.
And what happened?
According to Murphy, he went from being a salesman back to being a company president in about 4 years. All driven by that shift in consciousness.
That resilience is amazing. There's another detailed case study, too, isn't there? The beauty operator.
Oh, yes. A very compelling one. She'd lost her business, her home, due to embezzlement, debt, total mess.
Awful situation.
Truly. But she applied a very specific 3-step mental process every night before sleep.
Okay, what were the steps?
First, for about 5 minutes, she imagined her bank manager congratulating her on a great deposit. She focused on the feeling relief. Joy.
Got it. Step 2.
Second, for maybe 3 to 5 minutes, she clearly heard her mother saying joyfully, I am so happy about your wonderful new position.
Hearing it in her mind.
Vividly. And third, she pictured Dr. Murphy himself performing her marriage ceremony. She imagined hearing the words, "I now pronounce you man and wife."
Wow, very specific scenes. So she's filling her mind with these outcomes before sleep.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Saturating her subconscious. Now, here's the kicker. For about 3 weeks, things actually got worse externally.
Well, yeah, that must have been hard.
Terribly hard. But she persisted. She stuck to her mental routine every night. And then,
What happened?
in less than a month after starting this practice, she got married. And guess who officiated?
Dr. Murphy.
Dr. Murphy himself. Just like she imagined. And her new husband gave her $24,000 as a wedding gift, and they went on a trip around the world.
That is absolutely astounding. Those exact images manifested.
It really demonstrates the power of sustained, specific, feeling-backed imagination, which leads to one of Murphy's crucial rules.
What's that?
He says, do not expose your newly developed film, meaning your mental picture, your sustained feeling, to the shattering light of fear, doubt, despondency, and worry.
Protect your mental image.
Yes. When those negative thoughts inevitably pop up, you have to immediately refuse them entry. Just turn back to your positive mental image, feel its reality again. Don't let the doubt take root.
That takes real mental discipline. He gives another example of that, the man in London facing financial desperation.
Right. This man used the affirmation, God is the source of my supply, and all my needs are met at every moment of time and point of space. There is always a divine surplus.
Okay.
But he said he faced avalanches of negative thoughts, like 50 times an hour sometimes. Fear, doubt, worry.
Constant bombardment.
Absolutely. But every single time, he refused to entertain them. He'd just internally state, God supplies all my needs, and refocus.
What was the outcome?
Over days, the negative thoughts lessened. Their power diminished. And his financial situation dramatically turned around. It underscores the power of persistence and refusing to give energy to the negative.
Consistency is key. Murphy also provides some focused prayers or affirmations for specific situations, doesn't he?
He does. For making wise investments, he suggests affirming something like, infinite intelligence governs and watches over all my financial transactions, and whatsoever I do shall prosper.
Putting your trust in that higher wisdom for guidance.
Exactly. And for feeling secure about your possessions, your home, your business, the core idea is to affirm, the overshadowing presence watches over all my possessions. God is my fortress and vault. All my possessions are secure in God. It's about cultivating a feeling of divine protection.
And what about solving financial problems, maybe before bed?
A great one for that is, now I shall sleep in peace. I have turned this matter over to the God wisdom within. It knows only the answer. As the sun rises in the morning, so will my answer be resurrected. I know the sunrise never fails.
Releasing the problem to the subconscious, trusting an answer will emerge.
Precisely. You cast the burden, trust the process, and allow the solution to come.
These techniques are incredibly practical. It's clear this deep dive shows that true abundance isn't just piling up cash. It's much bigger than that.
It really is. It's about a fuller, more balanced life. And interestingly, Murphy points out that problems, difficulties, even those poor states of consciousness, they aren't necessarily bad.
How so?
He sees them as prompts, as God's or the universe's way of nudging us to seek solutions, to dig deeper, to discover our own inner power. Even pain, he calls it, God's alarm system.
An alarm telling us to change direction.
Exactly. To move from darkness to light, from lack towards that infinite supply. There are actually opportunities for growth, if we see them that way.
And the book strongly cautions against making money your only goal, right?
Oh, absolutely. A balanced life needs peace of mind, harmony, love, joy, perfect health. Things he reminds us you cannot buy.
If you focus only on money, you end up starving in other vital areas.
That's the danger. Which is why the golden rule becomes so important here, almost like a cosmic law.
As you would that men should think about you, think about them.
Yes. We must learn to bless and genuinely rejoice in the prosperity and success of others. If you feel anger, resentment, envy, Murphy says you are demoting yourself.
Because what you send out comes back.
Essentially, yes. What you condemn in others, you attract scarcity to yourself. What you bless in others, you open the door for abundance in your own life. It's a fundamental law.
There's that amazing story that illustrates this. The California teacher and the mink coat.
Oh, I love that one. She longed for this beautiful, expensive mink coat, $8,000, which felt completely out of reach for her.
Yeah, an impossible dream.
But she started using these principles. Every night before sleep, she would imagine wearing the coat. She'd feel the luxurious fur, the weight of it, the joy of having it.
She lived it in her imagination.
Consistently. loyally. And just 3 months later, she met her future husband shortly after attending one of Murphy's lectures. And as a gift, he gave her that exact mink coat.
Unbelievable. It wasn't even about figuring out how to get the money.
Not at all. It wasn't about the coat, really. It was about the principle. Consistently holding a mental vision, filling it with joy, faith, expectation, and letting the universe figure out the how. It manifested in a surprising, harmonious way.
Without hurting anyone, just a natural unfolding.
Precisely. It's about aligning your consciousness with the desired reality.
So it really comes down to this. The true riches, peace, joy, love, guidance, inspiration, goodwill, abundance, and they aren't out there somewhere.
No, Murphy insists they are within you now, like treasures waiting to be unlocked and released through your own consciousness. You possess everything by right of consciousness.
What an absolutely incredible journey through Dr. Joseph Murphy's work on attracting abundance. It really shifts your perspective, doesn't it?
It really does. We've seen clearly that our mental attitude, our core beliefs as dominant feelings, they are the true architects of our financial reality and really our whole life experience.
It's not just wishful thinking. It's applying a kind of spiritual science.
Becoming saturated with the feeling of the wish already fulfilled.
And remembering that you absolutely have an inherent right to be rich, to live fully. Money itself is just a neutral symbol.
It's all about your attitude towards it and how you use it. Bless it, it multiplies. Condemn it, it tends to disappear.
And the techniques we covered, those specific affirmations, the power of scientific imagination, that concept of changing water into wine.
They give you a powerful roadmap, a practical way to shift your consciousness from a feeling of lack to that awareness of infinite divine supply.
So your assignment, if you choose to accept it, is to really start applying these principles. Be loyal to your ideal. Persist when doubt creeps in.
And always, always bless the good you see happening for others. Murphy calls that the royal road to riches.
It truly is.
So let me leave you with this thought. If creation is, as Murphy and others suggest, already finished, if all possibilities exist right now in the unseen realm within you, what new good wine, what new reality will you choose to bring forth today by consciously changing your state of consciousness?